When most people picture South Dakota, they picture 4 presidents on a mountain and a gift shop. That's the whole list. What they're missing is a state that looks less like the American Midwest and more like Middle Earth, the Ice Age, and the Cold War. All 3 held a meeting and forgot to leave. A state that buried a nuclear missile beneath a wheat field, unearthed 26 mammoths during a housing development, and somehow kept both off the tourism brochure with a straight face. 8 secret places most tourists never find. And number 5 is the reason this quiet, unassuming state almost ended civilization. Let's go. 1. Needles, Highway, and Cathedral Spires. We're starting with a place that looks less like South Dakota and more like Middle Earth. Needles Highway, 19 miles threading through granite spires, squeezing through tunnels barely wide enough for a single car, and delivering views that make you question what state you're actually in. The Cathedral Spires are the centerpiece, ancient pink granite needles rising 300 feet from the Black Hills floor, shaped by 2 billion years of wind and frost. The road was engineered in 1920 by Cleghorn Jones, who designed every curve to maximize the drama. Many historians argue it was his true masterpiece, the forgotten achievement of the man who helped define the state. Fun fact, the Doane-Robinson Tunnel measures 8 feet 4 inches wide. If your mirrors stick out, fold them in before you try. Plan for early morning. Golden light between 6 and 9 a.m. is extraordinary and impossible to replicate at midday. Bring layers. The Black Hills sit at 4,500 feet and temperatures drop fast after sunset. From towers of ancient granite reaching for the sky, we now descend into the earth, where construction workers broke ground for a housing subdivision in 1974 and instead unearthed a graveyard of giants. 2. Mammoth Site at Hot Springs. In 1974, a bulldozer operator clearing land for a housing development in Hot Springs struck something hard. What he found stopped construction permanently and turned this quiet corner of South Dakota into one of the most significant paleontological sites on the planet. The Mammoth Site is an active excavation, the only in situ mammoth research facility open to the public in North America. 26 woolly and Columbian mammoths have been uncovered here, believed to have fallen into a natural sinkhole 26,000 years ago, making it a frozen time capsule of Pleistocene life. Bones continue to emerge on active dig days. You can watch paleontologists work in real time. Fun fact, every mammoth at Hot Springs stays exactly where it fell. The bones you're looking at have not moved in 26,000 years, indoors and climate controlled, one of the rare all-weather stops in South Dakota. Allow 90 minutes minimum and take the guided tour. From bones frozen in time 26,000 years ago, we now drive into a landscape so violent and strange that the Lakota called it Makoshicha, land bad. 3. Badlands National Park. The Badlands don't ease you in. They announce themselves. One moment you're driving through flat South Dakota grassland. Then the earth drops away and 244,000 acres of jagged spires, buttes, and ravines appear without warning, like someone peeled back the surface of the planet and forgot to put it back. The formations are between 23 and 75 million years old, deposited when this region was a subtropical inland sea, then carved by wind and water ever since at roughly 1 inch per year. The Badlands are actively destroying themselves. In a geological blink, they will be gone. During World War II, the U.S. Army Air Force used the remote eastern section as a bombing range. Unexploded ordnance is still occasionally found today, making it one of the few national parks where the geology isn't the most dangerous thing underfoot. Sunrise and sunset are non-negotiable. Golden hour turns the rock from tan to deep amber. Colors midday simply cannot capture. Bring water, there is none in the backcountry. From a landscape still eroding into something not yet named, we now descend into the longest darkness in South Dakota, where 97% of what exists has never been seen by human eyes. 4. Jewel Cave National Monument. Jewel Cave National Monument is the second longest cave in the world. 222 mapped miles of passages extend beneath the Black Hills, and geologists estimate that represents less than 3% of the total system. The rest remains undiscovered, unmapped, and completely unexplored. The cave gets its name from calcite crystals lining its walls, nailhead spar and dogtooth spar that catch a headlamp and scatter light in every direction, making the interior look like a geode turned inside out. It also contains rare hydromagnesite balloons, paper-thin mineral bubbles the size of grapes, slowly inflating over thousands of years. Fun fact, when explorers first found Jewel Cave in 1900, they felt wind blowing from a small crack in the rock. That wind meant a vast cave system lay beyond, one that still hasn't been fully mapped. Access is by guided tour only. Book well in advance. Tours sell out in summer. This is a place that demands respect and reward the prepared explorer. From the unexplored dark beneath the Black Hills, we now surface into South Dakota farmland, where something far more dangerous than any cave was buried 31 feet underground. 5. Minuteman Missile National Historic Site. Right now, underneath a South Dakota wheat field, a Minuteman II missile sits in its silo, deactivated, but exactly where it has been since 1963. The Minuteman Missile National Historic Site preserves the only remaining intact Cold War missile silo and launch control facility in the country. At the height of the arms race, 150 of these missiles were deployed across the South Dakota plains, each capable of reaching a Soviet target in 32 minutes. The launch control facility, buried 60 feet underground, is where 2 Air Force officers sat, 24 hours a day for over 2 decades, each with the authority to help end civilization. The 2 launch keys were positioned far enough apart that no single person could reach both simultaneously. The system required 2 human beings to agree before the end could begin. Tours book out weeks ahead in summer. The visitor center film alone justifies the drive. From the quiet menace of a missile that never launched, we now rise toward a monument that has been under construction for 76 years and has turned down millions in federal funding to stay that way. 6. Crazy Horse Memorial. Mount Rushmore took 14 years and federal money. Crazy Horse has taken 76 years, 0 government dollars, and it is still unfinished. And that is entirely by design. Sculptor Korczak Zielkowski began blasting the mountain in 1948, commissioned by Lakota Chief Henry Standing Bear, who wanted the world to know that Native Americans had great heroes too. The federal government has offered $10 million in grants, twice. The Zielkowski family has declined both times. Accepting federal money would compromise the monument's independence and its meaning. When complete, Crazy Horse will be 641 feet long and 563 feet tall, dwarfing Mount Rushmore entirely. The face alone is larger than the entire Rushmore carving. No verified photograph of Crazy Horse exists. The monument's depiction is based entirely on descriptions from those who knew him, making it one of the most interpretive, large-scale sculptures ever attempted. The complex includes a museum, a Native American cultural center, and a summer laser light show. Allow a half day. From a mountain still becoming what it was always meant to be, we now climb to the highest point east of the Rockies, and the story of why its name had to change. 7. Black Elk Peak. At 7,242 feet, Black Elk Peak is the highest point east of the Rocky Mountains. From the summit on a clear day, you can see 5 states. A stone fire lookout tower, built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in 1939, still stands at the top. The mountain carries history in its name. For most of the 20th century, it was called Harney Peak, named after U.S. Army General William S. Harney, who ordered the massacre of a Lakota village in 1855. In 2016, South Dakota renamed it Black Elk Peak, honoring the Lakota holy man who experienced a profound spiritual vision on this summit as a boy. The renaming was controversial. It was also long overdue. Black Elk's vision, recorded in the 1932 book Black Elk Speaks, described this summit as the center of the world, and the place where the sacred hoop of the nation would one day be made whole. The hike is 6 miles round trip with 1,100 feet of elevation gain. Start early. Afternoon lightning storms build fast in summer and show no mercy at elevation. From the peak where a holy man saw the center of the world, we now descend into a town that was dying, until it made a deal that saved it. 8. Deadwood. By the 1980s, Deadwood was rotting. The gold rush that built it in 1876 was a century gone. Wild Bill Hickok's name was a tourism footnote, and the historic buildings lining Main Street were deteriorating faster than anyone could fund repairs. Then South Dakota made a deal. In 1989, the state legislature legalized limited stakes gambling, but only in Deadwood. Casino revenue has since pumped over $400 million into historic preservation, restoring every building on Main Street. It is one of the most unusual conservation success stories in American history. Paid for entirely by slot machines. Wild Bill Hickok was shot here in 1876. holding aces and eights, what gamblers now call the dead man's hand. He's buried in Mount Moriah Cemetery above town, alongside Calamity Jane, who requested burial next to him despite barely knowing him in life. Fun fact, 10% of all Deadwood gaming revenue is constitutionally mandated for historic preservation. The casinos are legally required to fund the history. Allow a full day, visit Mount Moriah Cemetery, and catch the Wild Bill reenactment if the season is right. If this video changed how you see South Dakota, hit like, subscribe for more unseen places, and comment below which spot you'd visit first. Is it the missile silo beneath the wheat field, or the mammoth bone still coming out of the ground? If this video made you dream, plan, or say road trip, you will love the next video. Click here. The next wonder is one click away.